Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa. Hello, Ndudu natives. Thank you again for tuning in for another exciting episode. Now, today I am yamming the yam. I know, exactly. It's gonna be lovely. We're gonna make some hand cut, yes, French fries. Yes, that's sort of McDonald's like sort of French fries without the preservatives, of course. And guess what? I'll be using yam instead of potatoes, but this recipe works equally well as well with potatoes. Naturally, I'll leave the list of ingredients and measurements, including the transcript of this recipe, on my blog, fafagilbert.com. And if this is your first time, you're welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, let's start with the yam. Interesting fact about yam, there are over 600 varieties of yam, and in some cases, sweet potatoes are referred to as yam. But in West Africa, when we say yam, we mean this. Now, yam is similar to potatoes. The difference is it's starchier and it has a slightly sweeter taste than potatoes. But when it comes to frying yam, it has that tendency of leaving that little bitter taste there. So yes, I'm going to show you a way that we can reduce that bitterness. Not entirely eradicate it, but reduce it. In comparison to potatoes, yam does have a tougher outer layer, so you need to peel that skin off by using your knife. And if you're doing so, please do take all necessary precautions. It's best to use a chopping board for that. But I guess when one was learning how to peel the skin off the yam, this was how one was taught without the chopping board in majority of cases. So I guess it's a habit. But yes, in terms of precaution, it's best for you to use your chopping board. Now, what you notice that I'm doing is shaping my yam into a rectangular shape because that's going to make it easier for me to thinly slice it. Yes, that's trick number one. Now, yet again, you would see that I'm thinly slicing it. As you can tell, and I think the last part here, I've just got to be very careful, and that's come through. So here we have it, like almost like flat sheets in a way. And then what I'm going to do is just create a block. Yes, and I'm going to lay flat. I'll place my palm on top of it, yeah, so that it adds that extra pressure. And then making sure that I move my thumb and hand away whilst I slice it thinly. Yes, is very, very important because I do not want you to hurt yourself. I end up with my French fries almost. Yes, absolutely. Now, you know those little pieces that I took out before to shape it into that rectangular shape? No, I'm not going to discard those. I'm also going to thinly slice it. So at the very end, which looked like it was a little bit tough or like very difficult for me to thinly slice, I'm just taking it individually and just, thinly slicing it, as you can tell. This is no hassle and you can do this quickly. But yet again, take all that necessary precaution. Absolutely. So now that this is done, I'm now going to be washing my yam. If this is your first time, you're welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, please support the channel and click the subscribe button. Don't forget to also activate your notifications to also whenever I upload a video, you're all notified of it. Thank you. Now what I'm going to do is wash my yam and get rid of as much starch as I can. So yes, I will wash this at least about 3 to 4 times or until the water does run clear. And then I would soak it in water for about 30 minutes. And within that 30 minutes period, I would change the water again. Yes, that's just me being overly water whatever. Yeah, you don't really need to do that. But as I mentioned, I just needed to get rid of the starch. So that's why I've implemented that. But once you wash it and you soak it, you're good to go. But that's just me being pernickety, really. Honestly, trust me on that. And whilst I was inspecting it, I saw this one here. I was like, oh, you're a little bit on the bigger side. But I was like, nah, it's okay. It's hand cut. There has to be that vulnerability showing through. Anyway, it's time for me to boil my yam. So here in my saucepan, I'm adding my water. And then I'm going to add a secret ingredient, which is sugar. Yes, that's going to make it sweet. And then I'm also going to add my salt. So I'm going to parboil the yam. So I'm not boiling it for it to cook, but I'm just boiling it to yet again get rid of some of the starch. Also to get that crunchy and fluffy texture coming through. Mr. Yam, how you doing? Anyway, so just for about 3 minutes when I can just see that, yeah, it's simmering. This is done. This is cool. I'm just going to be using my strainer and I will strain this. And I'm going to leave this to completely dry. Yes, because you see, there is a method here. You might not have time to do it, but trust me, something that when you do and you taste it and then you compare it to your normal one, you're like, oh, okay, I'm liking this. And I love experimenting anyway. So yeah, I've just left it there for about 10 minutes for it to completely dry. And I could just see that the outer layer is even looking crunchy in itself. Now, at that stage, you can actually place your yam into your freezer bags and freeze it and take it out as and when you want to fry it. So you can make a big batch, portion it, freeze it, and as and when you need it, you just grab it. Anyway, so to my saucepan, I've got my preferred oil for frying and I've allowed that to be hot. So that actually took about 4 minutes to get there. And then, of course, I added my yam chips. At this point, I'm going to fry this for 2.5 minutes. Yes, on that high heat, because I just want that crunch to start forming, or crust, may I say, to start forming and sealing the internal part of the yam. Yes. Now, just when I feel like it's getting that crunchy feel with my spatula, I will take it out. And then I'm going to add some flavor. Now, at this point, this is optional. What I was doing was emulating that sort of McDonald's sort of chip. Yeah, so that's exactly what I was doing. So the next thing is I'm adding some beef fat, but you can omit this altogether and just continue with the vegetable oil. There's no problem with it. But yeah, I just wanted to test this recipe and just see, does it give it that je ne sais quoi flavor? And it does. So if you don't have the beef fat, but you have your normal raw beef, let's say, for example, and you can see some marbled fat in there, yeah, just drop some of the fat in there. And, if you're in Ghana and you've got some salted beef, just add a few slices, actually, to the oil. Oh, that would be incredible. Oh, that's like tolo beef chip. Oh, why didn't I think about that? You see, this is how it works. I'm sure somebody would actually create that recipe. Please, somebody should do it. Oh, tolo beef infused bayrayache. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm not going to fry it for the second time. And yet again, I'm going to fry it for 3 minutes this time. And as you can tell, you can see that the bubbles that was actually in the oil on the surface of the oil is just reducing. And when you stir in it, you would just feel the crunch anyway of your chip. And you will notice that it doesn't even go darker. It just maintains this beautiful sort of, buttery color to it, which is just incredible. So yes, this is ready for me to take it out. Exactly. This is not any other food. This is Ndudu by Fafa. Notification gang. I hope you guys are definitely inspired to try this recipe. And thank you guys for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. And to my loyal subscribers, I appreciate and love you all dearly. Thanks for the platform to share my creativity. Now, if you haven't activated your notifications, please do so and select all so you do not miss any future videos. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Grab your favorite sauce, condiments, and enjoy. You enjoy for me. And it's not any other yam. I am in. Now I'll leave you guys there. So here I've got my spicy homemade ketchup. Yes, and I'm just dipping this beauty and then just savoring the flavor. Yeah, go and try it. If you don't have yam, remember you can use your potatoes. And I'm sure like green plantain would also equally work with this. Yeah, I can't see why not. Ooh, that really would be nice. Yes, it really would be. It would make sense. Yeah. It's as if I'm having a conversation with myself here. Anyway, naturally, I'd leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, fafagilbert.com, so do check it out. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as Ndudu by Fafa, so pass by and say hi. Noel, thank you very much for my theme song, and on to my next recipe with you incredible beings. Take care of you, be nice, be beautiful. Please don't forget to smile. Yeah, I love you for you. Remember that. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for all the love. I'll see you in my next video. Toodles.